Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I thought I'd redo a video that I'm sort of planning on doing every year. It's one I did last year. I'm going to talk about my mods and plans, I guess, for the car for this year, for 2022. So to start off, last night I actually rewatched my video from last year. I did on the same thing. And I thought I'd just go over some of the things that I didn't get done. So the big obvious thing, which I keep talking about, is in the engine bay. I have been meaning to for about 2 years now, get my valve cover and fuel rail repainted professionally. This is rattle can job done like 2.5 years ago. Didn't last that well. I could redo it and do a much better job this time, but I just want to get it done professionally like Letitia's, and it looks a lot better. So yeah, don't know why I haven't done that. It's not a big expensive thing to do. I have enough cars that I can leave it down for a week or two while it gets done, but just haven't got around to it yet. So that is still coming, but that didn't get done. One thing I did get done in the engine bay here is last year's video I said I wanted to get some more titanium. Basically this is perfect now. I've got everything titanium that I could need. A couple more bolts and stuff here to go. Clamps and things like that I can add, but they're not big things. I can do them whenever. But I did add the titanium pieces that I wanted. So the coil cover and the heat shield, the oil cap, intake, blow-off valve piping, ECU bracket, and power steering reservoir, all of that, plus a few more bolts and stuff. So this engine bay, I absolutely love the way it looks. I just need those few pieces that are painted to be redone, and this will be like dream engine bay spec. Absolutely love it. Stoked that I managed to sort of create my vision, I guess. Other thing I didn't get done, which I wanted to do and talked about in the last video, was painting my carbon boot. So I've got the CSL style carbon boot or trunk, obviously carbon fiber. Looks really nice, really does flow well with the Phantom Black paint. But I kind of am at the point with this car where, in last year's video I talked about how I want it, I feel like this car hasn't aged at all. I'm getting a little bit older. I don't really want the like riced out mods, I guess, anymore. Not that it's looking riced out at all, but I kind of want to change back to a dual exit exhaust without having a big single exit cannon. I just feel like that's a little bit, I don't know, I'm kind of over that look. So it's a great exhaust system, but what I want is to go with the dual exit titanium Valvetronic, something that I can make quiet, loud, and in between with a press of a button. It's not a cheap option. There's not many off-the-shelf choices for that. That is what I wanted to get done. So I talked about last year's video. Haven't got that done yet. It's going to be expensive, but that is overall plan of the car, as well as painting the boot. So there's a couple of things I didn't get done. I did actually get most of the other things that I talked about done. So first thing in the video I talked about how the mods had slowed down because we were trying to buy a house at the time. So we did get our house. Then I said the next thing for the year was get the SST rebuilt. Did get that done. Unfortunately my turbo then also broke, so I ended up having to get a new turbo. Fuel system's all been changed. So new pump, inline fuel filter, injectors, fuel pressure regulator. So a lot of extra stuff happened that didn't get planned. But so now let's talk about what I actually want for this year. So yeah, obviously start, like I already mentioned, paint the engine bay pieces, tidy up the wiring in the engine bay, tidy up some of the clamps, all that sort of stuff. But pretty much I'm happy with that side of things. Next up would be, I guess, the interior. That was a big focus for last year and a big focus for the car, because I feel like something that I sort of mentioned to people a lot. I'll just get back here. This car, and the bonnet's down I guess as well, I don't think it's aged. I think the Evo 10 overall still looks like it could have been released basically now. It still looks, you know, it's a little bit older design. This is 2008 obviously, but some of the modern Euro cars, I think this still looks better or as good. And I think it just has really nice shape and lines, and it hasn't really aged like some of the other cars that I looked at the time. So the one part where that doesn't ring true is the interior. So over the last year, I have actually transformed this interior a fair bit. I've added some more modern door cards. So this is from a 2015. These are actually out of the final edition Lancer Evolution as well, but this is actually, I got these from a 2017 Lancer. But yeah, they've got the much nicer leather here with the stitching, leather up the top. I don't mind this piece here that I didn't actually reinstall properly. I need to pull this door card off and fix that. I also said in the last video I wanted to start adding some Alcantara. So steering wheel was already in motion last year when I filmed the video. That's been done and absolutely love it. It's probably one of my favorite mods. Wasn't cheap, but absolutely transforms the driving experience. So much more confidence inspiring driving this car hard. It's a little bit thicker because obviously it's trimmed, but just the extra grip it gives you, it's just so nice to touch. But yeah, when you're driving this really hard in the mountains, you just don't really, like, the confidence is a little bit higher with this steering wheel compared to when I jump in Letitia's car with the leather steering wheel. It's a little bit thinner, a little bit slipperier. So that's something that I'm absolutely loving. So we also added some Alcantara for the SST shift boot, the handbrake. Got a leather armrest with blue stitching, which really flows well. Some blue floor mats and the SST footrest down there. But yeah, big thing I wanted last year, as I was saying, was to upgrade this area. So yeah, the leather, the cup holder lid, the gloss black or piano black SST surround and cubbies. So we got all those. I've always been obsessed with digital dashes. I actually really like some of the modern cars that have those, so that's why this is here. It's obviously temporarily just mounted on the steering column, but soon I'm going to be removing the gauges, going to be flush mounting that in there. It'll look factory, and it will have all the features that you need. So the interior is getting there. I said I wanted to get more Alcantara and leather. I did Alcantara trim my parcel shelf back there, which you probably can't really see too well. All the pillars I did Alcantara trim, ended up removing them because I found a set of OEM black ones, so I decided to go with full OEM black interior, which I think was a better option. Was going to Alcantara trim top of my original door cards, but ended up getting the leather, which is really nice, does transform the interior. So that's kind of in the way we're moving. All that's left now really is to finish that digital dash off and get the seats either from a later model MR or final edition or something, or just get these retrimmed with some blue stitching or something custom. And I mean, yeah, I got new OEM shift knob and handbrake. I do actually have a manual shift knob. I want to get the SST version, but I really like those with so they're leather at the sides where you touch them, and then aluminium with Lancer Evolution. The only thing is this manual one's a little bit scratched up and it has the manual shift pattern at the top instead of the Mitsubishi badge, but really nice touches, really nice with the Alcantara. So I feel like this section now is spot on. I just need to get that seats retrimmed, get that digital dash in, and this interior will be right up to spec with a more modern car, I believe. And I mean, it's crazy to think that there's not much more to do. So other than those things, SST heated sump, that is definitely on the plans for this year, because overall that's going to make the car into a more well-rounded performance daily driver. It's a bit of a letdown at the moment with the transmission. You want to look after it, you want to let it warm up completely before driving hard, so that involves letting it warm up, which takes driving to do, 15 to 20 minutes, can be longer if it's a cold day, before you're at 60 degrees where you want to actually go wide open throttle. If I can get the SST heated sump, I'll be able to start the car in the garage, let it sit there and idle, and it'll actually warm up by sitting there 5 or so minutes, and it'll be ready to go. And I can just drive out the driveway and be already ready to hit boost. So that's a big thing that I think goes towards transforming the driving experience. Because yeah, like I always say, that this car, I bought it 7+ years ago now, because it was at the time what I felt the perfect car for me, that would be a fun daily driver, that was practical enough, had back seats, had a usable boot. I could use it as a car, but also could take it up the mountains, onto a racetrack, drag racing, all that sort of things. I could build it into the perfect all around, and I've somehow stuck with it for 7 years now and kept modifying it, making it into my vision of what I wanted, and it's almost there now. So it's kind of crazy. Like, I have a list in my phone that I started when I first bought the car, and at the time it was all future mods, and then I tick off everything that I do. That list of ticked off items, I did actually calculate it a while back, and it's pretty scary. I would hate to calculate it again now, but I've ticked off so many parts that I wanted for this car. Some I've sold and changed as I changed my mind about the build, but overall it stayed in my vision of perfect daily driver. And as I get older with the car, I want it to sort of become a little bit more like grown up. I know it's a Mitsubishi and it's not like an Audi RS3, but I feel like it has the potential to be of that sort of performance, still be a practical daily driver, but at a far, far lower cost to buy. So that's kind of the vision I've always had for the car and where I've been going with it. I feel like it's basically almost there. So I'm absolutely blown away with how good this car is, how good it's been, and how far I've been able to get with it. So yeah, I think that's basically it. Heated sump, paint some stuff such as the carbon boot, back to a dual exit exhaust with Valvetronic, so if I do want to be quiet in the car I can. Finish off the engine bay, finish off the interior, and new number plates to match the finished build, I guess. So I have new number plates in mind for the car. The grips plates will be probably retired. I don't know if it'll be this year or not, but yeah, it's just, like I said, crazy. I haven't really thought too much about this, how close I am to the car where I want it, because I do want to stop. I don't want to just, unless the engine breaks, and I'll build the engine, but I don't want to just go building the engine, throwing a massive turbo into it when I don't really need to. I feel like it's already fun enough as is. So yeah, that's it's gonna be the end of the video there. So I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely something that I'll look to make again next year if I haven't finished those few things, and if the build changes, and maybe we'll start a new project car on the channel maybe next year if this one gets finished. I'm never going to sell this car, or I shouldn't say never, but won't be selling this car just because I finish it. That's when it's time to enjoy it. Always see people spend all this money on cars, build a crazy big engine, huge turbo, do all these mods, realize that more can break, how much money they end up spending more than they planned, get worried about driving it, it becomes unreliable, and then just put them for sale. See it all the times on like forums in America with Evo 10s and stuff, GTRs, stuff like that. It's not what I want with this car at all. I've built it, I've spent all this time and money getting it to where it is. I didn't just throw money at it from the start. It's taken me 7 years to get here. So I've been enjoying it along the way, and I'd like to finish it and then really enjoy it. So that's basically the plans. If you enjoyed this video, like I said, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the overall idea of this car. If there's any mods you think I should add, I'm definitely keen to see what you guys think. And if you haven't already subscribed, definitely go down, click the subscribe button. Plenty more videos and content on the Evo 10 platform to come. But with all that said, until next time, I'll catch you guys later.